G'day legends, welcome back to another episode of the Butcher's Bible podcast. I'm your host Ant, and today's guest is Ellie from Lennard Ingredients. Let's go.
Yes.
Ellie, how are you?
I'm good, and how you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you for joining me today.
My pleasure. A privilege, actually, technically.
Well, you've been an ongoing supporter since the very beginning when it was Luke and I and Doug and I and Luke. It's been very good. It's been a good adventure all the way through, and we appreciate your support the whole way through.
It's been very entertaining to not only listen to your comic wit, but see all your videos of comic wit as well.
Thank you. Yeah, no, those were long nights putting those videos and everything together for the content. It's good fun.
And I thank you for your service.
Thank you. Before we go anywhere, please introduce yourself. The floor is yours.
Oh, God. So I am Ellie. I am one of the partners at Lennard's Ingredients. Hopefully most people know by now that are listening. We are a spice blending site, primarily working with butchers. So we produce sausage mixes, burger mixes, glazes, gluten-free, lots of bespoke lines as well. So if you want anything specifically made for your market. And we are a second generation, so I run it with my brother.
Yep.
It was started by my dad. Well, technically it was started by a chap called Ray Lennard in Gosport in Portsmouth. And he was a butcher shop. That's where it very originally started. My dad sold spices to him. And went, actually, I don't like working for the man myself. I want to have my own business. And so bought out Ray. And we have basically progressed from what was originally a butcher shop, sort of making up our own lines, through to a very small and slightly dubious looking manufacturing site in Gosport. And then we moved back in the 80s up to Sussex. So that's where we have been manufacturing everything that we do for the last near enough 30 years.
It's amazing. It's a long time, isn't it? When you look at it, like it's like a bit shorter than how we've been. What are you, 21? So you're quite young. So I'm 35.
Thank you.
So it's like it's a little bit younger than me, but it's like it's a very well-known brand, especially in the UK as well. Like,
yeah,
a lot of butcher shops do use you guys, as long as like other ones, but we won't mention them because
no, that's fine. Competition is always great and it's always appreciated, and there are so many good people out there doing awesome things, and we can only take that as an inspiration to sort of push on.
Yeah, because you're like with the branding wise, you're like, we're here, we're happy to help, but at the same time, like, there's no competition's competition. Like, let's just be friends. There's enough enough pie for the for the family.
Well, it's not even that. I think the general ethos within our company is that we want butchers to do well. It's in our interests for butchers to do well. If you're using my products, absolutely, I'm delighted with that fact, and I'm confident that our products are really, really good. So I will send you out a free sample, and you go, yeah, actually, you know what? This is better than what I've been using. Fantastic. But I want you to do well, and if the product that you're currently using is working for you, then who am I to say that anything is different? But I'm just here to offer you an alternative. It's needed. Equally, we're always here to help. Full stop. Whether that's a technical help as well. We always want to support the industry. Full stop. Regardless of whether you're using our products or not. I'll probably be told off later by John by using what is our informal motto in life, which is "Don't be a dick." But I think it's a very good motto to run a business by as well. We want a good culture in our staff and in our sort of on site. But I want the same thing for the people who use our products as well.
Yeah, it's a very laid back approach when a lot of others are like quite aggressive. We can beat you on price. We can do this. We can do that. We'll deliver it by hand on a golden platter. And you're just like, can I just have the product?
I mean, if it comes back with a nice bit of Wagyu or something like that, I will willingly do that as well. But we'll hand deliver if I have to.
Have you tried Wagyu yet?
Huh?
Have you tried the Wagyu yet?
Yes. Well, I mean, I say this. I have been to restaurants. I'm not preparing. That's far too expensive for me to be allowed to touch with my culinary skills. Uh, so I've allowed other people to prepare it for me.
Right. Okay. It's good.
Like,
It's a good bit of gear that.
that was absolutely delicious.
So right, take me back to the very beginning of this and paint me the picture where Ray came into it and your dad and run us through the whole concept of it because
The potted history.
yeah.
So my dad worked in the food industry all of his life. So he worked for all sorts of people like McVitie's, L'Allemande. He worked in France for a while for flavouring houses. So you know he knows what he was talking about. He was working at that moment in time as a primary sales manager for Spiceman's. And he was sort of selling, from my understanding, sort of selling spices down to individual sites and shops. And I'm not entirely sure because with my dad, things tended to have a role in terms of our actual storytelling, and they would expand over time. Variations would happen within that, exactly how things were met. But he was a good salesman. Let's put it like that.
Right.
Uh,
Okay. So your man knew how to talk.
The man who had to talk, the man could, apparently he was the inventor of ambrosia custard, as it stands at the moment. Who knows if that's true? So we're still not entirely sure. And he basically saw an opportunity with a butcher shop. So essentially, Ray Lennard had a butcher shop in Gosport. And like many butchers back in the 80s, he was making his own seasonings up, and he was pre-bagging them up for Saturday boys to make over the weekend or for weekend sales. And the story goes that the product that he made, which happened to be what we call the original spicy kebab mix, which still sell, was the main one. And other butchers were like, actually, that's really good. Can I buy those bags pre-made off of you? Story goes, that's how the business kind of evolved as a concept.
Wow.
So he did that for a while, but I think maybe running two businesses at the same time, running a butcher shop and the ingredient side of things didn't really work. So that's where my dad steps in. So he buys Lennard's ingredients, or Lennard and Co. as we were, before we rebranded in sort of 2000. And he went, yeah, cool, this is what I want to do. This is I want to stop working for the man. I want to be my own sort of boss, live the dream, drive 2 hours commute every single day down to Gosport from Sussex in order to continue manufacturing.
Yeah, wow. That just gave me a bit of PTSD from like when I had my shop, because you remember I was like always about fresh ingredients, always doing like all those things, and just like sitting there on like a Tuesday, just bagging them, like not using Cryovac bags, just the little bags, and like all this mix and that, and then labeling it all, getting it ready, and I was like, that took me back.
Yeah, you sort of get those flashbacks, and you can kind of see why you're like, yeah, it works, but there's alternatives.
Yes, there is.
Depends on how strong your mental sort of, if the podcast game is good, then I'm sure it's fine. It rolls through. But
yeah, well, I'm not going back to bagging that gear again. That was long-winded for, I guess, like good results. But God, just getting all this everything right, the spice mixes, the paprika, bringing all that stuff in as well, and then finding room for that stuff as well.
Yeah, and it's also the variation within it as well, isn't it? Because I mean, you can get, just say white pepper. And there's so many varieties within that in terms of quality, potency, the peppering content, and all of those other bits. That is sort of, it means that you might be making the same volume, so putting the same volume in there, but it's not necessarily the same product that's coming out the other side. So you're already losing your sort of continuity of flavour. Where people come back, which is why we have the fun of every ingredient that comes in gets QC'd.
Yeah, 100%. It would definitely not with me. It was just like, right, we'll grab a 5 kilo bag of paprika, white pepper, you name it.
But then also the trouble is as well, to make it cost effective, like you are having to buy like 5 kilos of something that, you know, where you're going to use 3 grams in each seasoning blend. So that might last you for 2 years or something.
I don't think I had 3 grams of anything in it because I was doing like
flavors.
yeah, big flavors. I was doing like, you know, 40 kilos of just like 2 different flavors, and then
Yeah.
you haven't even accounted for the rest of it. And you're just like, fuck, there's only 2 sausages. And then also on top of that as well, you got to make a spice blend ready for truffles or kebabs or
Yeah.
you know, koftas and all this other stuff. And I was just like, why am I doing this? Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, eh.
Okay, no, and I get it, because like particularly when you're sort of customizing it, and it, you know, you can adjust and you can tweak and you can process flow through, can't you? And you can be like, actually, let's do this a little bit different today, or something along those lines. But yeah, well, if you've got the sort of the bare bones seasoning in there, you've got your preservatives, which I'm assuming most people are kind of preferred to have a little bit more shelf life wherever possible. Although obviously alternatively we do have preservative free products, just saying.
It's good gear. I like that stuff. It's good.
You just told me off for not doing promotion well enough, so I feel like I'm gonna have to step up my game.
No, yeah, this is just one big advert now. Like this podcast is just one big advert.
Yeah, good see there's enough branding everywhere.
You should have sent me a jumper. I would have been like,
oh no, I missed a trick, haven't I? I should have sent you down a little beanie as well.
Well, it's not that cold yet, but like, you know, autumn is here, as we can tell.
Autumn has definitely arrived early.
But we can't complain though. Summer was pretty sexy.
Oh, summer was delightful, but I think that's almost made it worse for me, because I don't tend to function below 25 degrees. So autumn turning up a little bit early is unacceptable.
You're in the wrong country.
I'll tell you about it. Fundamentally, I think way back in the time I should have been sort of down in sort of the Mediterranean countries.
Well, yeah, you were just there, weren't you?
Yeah. It was even ruder shock to land into a blooming storm on Sunday.
Oh God, where were you? In Spain, you said?
Portugal.
Portugal. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah. It was very pleasant. Not as warm as Spain, but you know, a bit windier, but very, very pleasant.
Well, some of the best surf in the world is in Portugal.
Yeah. I saw people doing that, and I was like, it has been a long time since I surfed when I was at uni, so I'm just going to let people do that, because that looks scary.
I'll stick to just sitting on the beach drinking, yes.
Yeah, I'll just stick to the Aperol. And also, has anyone actually gone into the sea without a wetsuit in Portugal, because it's very cold?
Really?
Oh my God, yeah. Like, I'm a sea person, so I'm going to go off into a right little tangent here. But I was like, no. I mean, I will swim in the sea in the winter in the Channel. Absolutely fine, so long as it's not been too rainy, because we don't trust southern water. But
coming at it.
No, thank you. But no, Portugal, I literally went, paddled in, and I looked at my partner and went, yeah, no, I can't actually feel my toes now.
Oh, damn.
Went straight back out again. I was like, I'll just have the frozen Aperol spritz on the beach, that's fine.
That's a winner for me. All right, we lost track.
This is where you are going to have to edit shit out.
No, we're not editing any of that. That's brilliant. I love it. I love it. It was great. The back to the spice blend. So you bought him out, and now you've gone, right, we're going to start this company in the middle of Sussex.
Yeah, so in the intervening months, I think there was about 6 months or a year from my dad purchasing the company to actually finding a site suitable up in Sussex. So he was having that delightful 2-hour commute each direction every single day, for which John has some PTSD for, because obviously he was 14 at the time, I think, thereabouts, when the company was bought. Therefore, was free labour over the summer holidays. Everyone knows.
Yes.
Anyone who has got any family who has any form of business, you are just free labour.
It's true.
It's just standard facts, I think, really, isn't it?
And stealing kids from the streets is like frowned upon now.
I know, it's amazing. This sort of this wokeism. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Somehow not acceptable. And Yeah, so he had the delightful fun along with there is another sibling who managed not to go into the company, who also Mike also went down, and they had the one summer, I believe, of basically being up at 5 every morning in order to go and work for my dad. Yeah, so finally managed to recite it up somewhere a bit more civilized and a bit closer. And we were there for probably about 15 years, so a fair while.
Quite a stint.
And just sort of, it was an old sort of essentially a farm site that had turned into industrial units, and we kind of just sort of had one unit expanded into the next one, expanded into the next one, expanded and carried on going. It was fine and it worked, but it meant that we couldn't expand in the way that we wanted to because of machinery constraints. We had limited heights and ceilings and all that sort of stuff. And with the number of pallets we have coming in and out every day, it was in a slightly rural location. Pallet companies weren't overly happy with us a lot of the time as well.
Yeah, you want to get paid, drop them off.
It's also when you had the horrible thing, we had a very steep hill to get into the unit as well. And if someone had forgotten to put the forklift on long enough charge, that was always an amusing one, watching them trying to come back up a steep hill with a ton pallet of ingredients.
Oh. Wait, why are you using that? Why not just a forklift and have one on site?
Oh no! So we have our own forklift on site, but it's an electric. This one was an electric one.
Yeah. Right.
And you feel like it was just really amusing to watch sometimes. So just bunny hop over the hill. Once you get over the ledge, you'll be okay.
Right. You go back down.
This is 90s era, so like we're coming back down again. And then we sort of and then we moved to our new site, obviously the newer site, which is a little bit more civilized. We have no hills to deal with. We're on a large industrial unit. We've got a large industrial building. And all of the space that we needed for all of our new machines that we planned to put in. So this was back in early 2010s.
Yeah.
And then sort of invested really heavily in some more machinery and all those sort of lovely bits like that, which you might be able to hear some of them going on in the background. So I don't know if it's actually going quite loudly at the moment. So
kind of, but it's fine. It means that you're in the workplace then.
Yeah, we're down. Yeah, there's definitely. I've just realised that so the room I'm in is right next to our production site. I possibly should have chosen a better place.
It's fine. You got the labelling at the back, so it works for me.
It's on brand, really, isn't it? It just shows we're a proper manufacturing site. We're not white labelling. We're just great. We
yeah, of course.
We make it. We genuinely make it in Suffolk.
Yeah, we do. You're only by my knowledge as well. You're only 20 minutes from Middle Farm.
Yeah. We've got some good local places near us. So we've got obviously Pat from Bishop's Butchers in the same town.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been our local butcher, my family's butcher for forever.
Nice.
So yeah, we've got some awesome people around here. Got some really good sort of expanding chains as well, which is always nice to see some growth within there. Sort of expanding out into a lot of the farm shops, which seems to be sort of a good market as well, doesn't it?
It is. It seems to be like the way forward, the old farm shops, to a degree, almost like some farm shops do really thrive, but then others are like so rural that they are more successful than the one that's, not so rural. It's quite an odd concept.
Yeah, and it just shows you, I think there's a lot to do with brand marketing and how you cite yourself within that. And you certainly see certainly the premium lines, the premium butchers are running really well within those sort of locations. And I think that, particularly, like you said, with the rural ones, sometimes, like, just because 50% of the battle is already won because they're there, because they've made the effort to go there, you're already 50% more towards a sale.
And plus, if you've gone for coffee and cake and then a wander around, and if they've got like a farm or a vegetable patch or whatever, and then they can sell those products through those shops with the butchery and everything as well. I guess that's why like McNade's is quite good as well, who's in Kent. So Simon Maynard and them boys and girls, they were an old bomb shelter or bunker or something, and they've converted all of that now into like a full butchery with like the bread and whatever else. But like before then, like you're not going to a bunker, are you? Unless you're running, when World War II's coming, World War III's here.
Yeah, well, there were certain times. Uh, yeah, I mean, but I think it's the sign that shows that, like, social media is so important for the industry now. And it's not necessarily just for the specifics of the industry, but the sort of everything around it, everything that makes it a draw, an interest, a greater understanding, maybe, that maybe had been a bit lost in the sort of the early 2000s. Like, people understanding more where meat is coming from, understanding all the sort of the background work that happens to what you have on your plate. It's just, and I mean, it's hopefully coming out a lot more in terms of sort of not just in the socials, but in what you're seeing on TV. Like, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Jeremy Clarkson, but I would say that Clarkson's Farm has done pretty damn good work towards making the rural or sort of countryside matters. So from the meat production through to everything else and all the other struggles that happen in the background, and hopefully makes the consumer understand the cost of these things. Because I think sometimes that can be very hard to translate. So if you're used to a supermarket price with it just undercutting, now there's that's fine, but you're missing a huge amount of the story, I think, sometimes, in terms of the actual work that a true piece of British produced, with all the other sort of ethical, the care points, everything else that comes from that, and the quality points. And it's kind of been missed from people's understanding and consciousness, I think, sometimes.
Social media has given us more of a whole understanding, concept, and transparency in this world, and the supermarkets have tainted a lot of that transparency, and it's just what you see. But like, people just see a price, don't they? And they always have. But you don't look at like the per kilo for like how much this pork steak is, or this beef fillet, or whatever it is, or may be. But now, like, social media has given us more of a powerful voice, and especially in the butchery industry, to show that transparency from farm to fork. This is the process, this is where it comes from, this is how it's fed, and this is what we can show you and introduce to you as a consumer.
Exactly. And so you give people the choice to have that. Like, not everyone, and I appreciate it is more expensive. Not always, and I'm not saying that, because I've seen a lot of times I've seen the kilo price in supermarkets and been like, how much? But it's giving people the choice to understand all of that, understand the background. How are you finding as well, or what I always find interesting, are you finding that because the supermarkets have trained essentially consumers to expect packets and to know the unit cost as well, so not necessarily just like the kilo price, but the specific unit cost, do you find that those ones sell to a specific market, or do you find
It's a really good question. So last week when I was back, there was a family came in and they had a list of products that they were matching, like, obviously, because we got Sainsbury's being like a middle kind of range, and they got M&S and Waitrose being a higher end. They had done the homework on all three, and then came, because we have them on our high street where we are, and they were like, we just really are interested, because we've had to cut back on, we want to cut back on plastic, we want to shop more local, but we're trying to do a price comparison and whatever else. So they gave us the list, and the dad stopped us when I was like, right, because I weighed up in front of him and be like, this is what to expect, and price wise, it can fluctuate depending on if we're in a rush or whatever. And our 5% beef mince was £7.30 for half a kilo. And he's like, he stopped me and goes, £7.30 for 500 grams of beef mince. So I was like, yeah. And he goes, at M&S, it's £8.50 for 500 grams. And that's 20% or 10% or whatever he said, 12%, I think it was. And he's like, what is going on? He goes, how are you guys cheaper? I'm like, well, at one stage, beef was through the roof, pork and chicken always kind of stay the same, blah, blah. And he's just like, he goes, well, that's sold it for me, because he goes, we can do, 1.5 kilos, and we can make 2 weeks worth of meals out of that one product. And I was like, that's brilliant. That's good news. But then they go on to the steak form and he goes, right, so an 8 ounce M&S fillet is 20 pounds, 22 pounds or something. And I was like, right. So I cut as close as I can for 8 ounces and put it on the scale, and it was 12. It was 10 pounds cheaper.
This is the thing, isn't it? And you like, and like, in fairness, you know, you raised an amazing point early on as well, like cutting plastic.
Yep.
You know, straight off. So in terms of like a butcher's shop, with how do you promote that best? How are you promoting? You want to get the people in. You go, look, this is the kilo price. Are you direct going, this is the M&S version price of it, but I can tell you this came from the local farm or whatever down the road, and you're not sort of, you know, using unnecessary plastics and all the other
unless they've got the information in front of me, we can say this is price per kilo, this is price per kilo, this is price per kilo, like in that sense. But trying to get people's heads wrapped around the price per kilo. So when you look at fillet being 60 pounds where we are, people are like, whoa.
Yeah, it's terrifying to start off with, isn't it?
Yeah. 60 quid's a lot of money. Like that's a family's whole week shop here, or if not, you know, a bit more. But like trying to get people's heads wrapped around that. And if they do have the homework like that family did for me, I was like, right, we can beat all of that. Like at least like and save you a bit more money so that you can save for your holidays or whatever they were doing. No, she was going on a camping trip and was going to Indonesia or something.
Oh, wow.
And there was so they wanted to cut back, but like also reducing the plastic. But plastics you can't avoid. They're number one. They're the biggest thing in the world right now that is unavoidable. And we know that, and it's crazy. But if someone comes in and they say, 60 pounds a kilo for fillet, I'm like, you don't have to buy the whole piece. Like you don't have to go the whole kilo.
Yeah.
Just tell me how much you want for your Friday night steak night date night. You know, and that sentence there really opens up the people, because like they go, you know, they laugh or they'll say like, oh no, it's just me. And I was just like, well, you haven't invited me. So it's, you know, it kind of like breaking that up in a sense. But if people just jump straight to that point of, well, that's too much money. It's like, no, help me help you by you telling me what you want, you know. But like, you know, we do promote in the shop that we have, you know, we do a lot of cryovac bag stuff, like, which is, you know, unavoidable, keeps, you know, flavor lasting and helps marinate, speeding up the marinade process for stuff and whatever else. But like, you know, we do have like recyclable bags, but how many times are you ripping open a bag, wiping it out and then going recycle?
This is often the issue that I still think we're facing in the industry, full stop. So I mean, we've looked at a lot of different options in terms of improving. So obviously we're using plastics. Everything that we make goes into a plastic bag. That's what it is. And it, unfortunately, because everything has to be virgin plastic that's in direct contact with food, is just the worst of the potential worst, really, isn't it? So we've looked at compostable options and things like that, but at the moment there's very limited options in terms of what's available that is home compostable. So you can get industrial compostable, but there's 3 sites I think in the entirety of the country.
So there's nothing.
There's nothing, and it's kind of like it's almost like a bit of a greenwash. You can be like, compostable packaging, but it's not truly better. But yeah, it is something that the industry really has to look at as much as we can do, I think. And you know, but there's only so much that individuals can do, or so much that, you know, we can do without new technologies coming in, which I'm sure there will be alternative ways of doing things. But it'd be interesting to see. I think it's going to be quite a fast moving section of it. It'd be interesting to see where it goes and how it changes.
Well, being as you guys aren't, like, you guys are a powder form and, you know, an ingredients company, wouldn't like a giant like wax envelope in a compostable bag and then you can kind of like seal that perhaps?
Yeah, there are a couple of options available. So we've obviously run big pack lines, which is what you can hear coming. So essentially they form a bag around the products as it drops. And there are alternative options. They have things like cornstarch interiors, So they're food safe, they're food products, food safe. But you still end up with a similar issue where they're two-part materials. So it's quite hard for you guys to recycle them when you've used them. They don't, obviously, biodegradable, great concept, not ideal for something with a long shelf life. You don't really want that down, sort of disappearing over the course of 18 months. Shelf life, not ideal. And also the trouble is, because the way that spices react, you've got lots of high volatile oils within them. And because we're only buying premium products, we're only buying the premium high oil content or high sort of turmerics and things like that with curcumin in high levels. It's harder then to make sure that you're getting a completely inert surface. So it is something that we are continually sort of monitoring, because it's something that I think a lot of the sort of people are interested in, just in terms of personal thing as well. Because it's always heartbreaking at the end of the day for us when we see our bins and they're full of plastic, and obviously they are, we recycle wherever we can and adjust wherever we can. But like you say, plastics, it's very difficult when they've been in food contact to recycle or to allow them to go through recycling. But yeah, it's always something that we're always looking at. We're always looking at our improvement of process regardless.
It's the evolution of like the whole start to where you are now, and just trying to be more eco-friendly and more sustainable. Yeah. But sometimes, like a lot of shops don't change in those sense, and they just keep using, plastic bags and everything as well. And then, no one's wiping them out if they're recyclable or whatnot, but we do promote it.
Yeah.
But no one's like, fucking gold star for you.
Yeah, so you get one stamp every time you bring back a clean bag.
Yeah, exactly. We'll recycle it for you, and then it just goes back in our bin anyway.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing, isn't it? And it is difficult, and it's it's something that we definitely need to improve on. But with the limits of what legalities will allow us, product will allow us. We're at the limits of what is viable at the moment. But it's always evolving, it's always changing. So
are you under the FSA, or are you your local council? Yeah. So being as the FSA, you have to pay a stupid amount of money, and they meticulously rip you apart on the very smallest detail. How come? And if they're asking you to bring in like a recyclable material, whatever, why don't you and your smart fellas bloody get to the boardroom and say, we need to invent and help with doing these? Like, I'm sorry, but
you see, I have this a lot. So, I think I sort of said that we always want to help people as well. I've had butchers call me up and just be like, I've got an I've got trading standards in here, or EHO, one of those, and they're like, you're selling something as gluten-free, but you've got rusk there. And I was like, well, okay, cool. Can you walk me through your process on how you're manufacturing gluten-free? And go, well, we just, we do it first thing in the morning, beginning of production. All the machines are clean, everything is clean. We have specific tools that we're using. Food contact, they're all green. They're what we use for gluten-free. We're using a gluten-free product mix. Everything else is fine. And I was like, well, that's a gluten-free product then. I was like, you're not running it after anything that's been gluten. EHO's like, no, you've got wheat in the building, it's not allowed. And yet you've got other EHOs in different areas of the country who are like, that's a perfectly sensible process. It's called time management.
Yeah, exactly right. That's what I was going to say. It's time management.
Yeah, it's time segregation. It's perfectly normal. It's how most people would handle it. And it just sort of shows there's just no upper level stuff. It's the same thing, isn't it? It's an interpretation of levels. I mean, we are BRCGS certificated. It's sort of think Salsa go about X number of pages deeper on paperwork, and it's always an interpretation. And so it's annoying when you get something with a legal directive or guideline, and the training to the people who are picking up or picking others up on this. So like the EHOs going out to site, the trading standards going out to site, are taking their own interpretation rather than a overall. They're not being trained on what is considered an acceptable process, protocol, procedure.
Transparency is the word we're looking for on that one.
Exactly. And it's back to transparency again, isn't it? And it's not fair. It's not fair to the people who are trying to run a business and who are manufacturing things absolutely what is considered industry standard, perfectly acceptable. And then you've got someone who's not understanding or has taken their own interpretation.
Or they're just having a really bad week and they're just like, fuck you.
Yeah, that could be that as well. And I mean, in fairness, I feel very sorry because I mean, our local EHO, I think there's 4 of them for the entirety of Wealden, which is not a small county.
No.
And I think they also have to cover sort of like Brighton and Hove. And you can imagine how many sort of restaurants, burger shops, burger vans there are there as well.
Yeah, it's like Brighton's like the, God, like the capital of just pop-up shops and, everything. Like, just on that high street alone, like in between the town there's restaurants everywhere. And then you got the festivals that go on there, or, these little markets, food stall, cafe.
Endless cafes.
Endless cafes.
Endless cafes.
And then, like you said, you got Hove. Fucking hell. That's 4 of them. How do they even go? Right, you take west, I'll take north, you take south, and I'll take east.
And I was like, I'm so sorry. Can I offer you a cup of coffee? You must need it. But yeah, it's wild, isn't it? So, but it is, and I feel so sorry for people who've had issues with them as well, because it makes everyone's life harder, doesn't it? And like I said, if they've had a bad day, they are sometimes actively aggressive.
Very, very over the top aggressive.
Yeah, they're like threatening legal action. I was like, I mean, I can only understand from my understanding of legal guidelines, and if you feel like there are alternatives, but from my understanding, that was a perfectly acceptable way of doing things.
It is, and it's also whatever the person's HACCP, and does it collide with your HACCP, which is most likely 95% of the time. Like your HACCP's going to be different to Pat's, let's say, and then they're like, well, this has got gluten in it because it's in the vicinity of it. But then your HACCP indicates saying we've done the structural guidelines from FSA, and we go gluten-free first because machines are clean. It's fucking common knowledge. It's it's safer practice and always has been. Every time in a shop we do gluten-free. Sorry,
it's just common sense, really, isn't it?
It is, but then if his HACCP isn't lined up with that, but then he's also got gluten products with gluten-free next to each other, it kind of falls back on you to a degree. But half the time, half the time, it would be on him, and like, well, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But in a fridge, but then if you put in your display fridge and they're side by side, it's different.
I've never understood that one.
Never have I.
I don't understand that one at all.
No. I've never gotten that one. That's what made me really go off on a tangent on it, because I was like, in the storage fridge, 2 different products, gluten-free, not gluten-free, and then you put them in the display. It's fine. It's fine. And it's like having sesame seeds like as a garnish over like pork Twizzler kebabs or whatever. And you got those right there at the front of a counter when you've got 3 products behind it. You could drag that product over the top. But that's fine. But if you put it in the fridge,
absolutely not allowed.
What are we talking about here? Are we on the same page? Like, what's going on? It's crazy.
It's like the people who make these rules up haven't actually ever worked in a shop.
Well, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, they haven't. That's like a guarantee. They just done a course and just winged it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, hope for the best.
And then they just don't keep up with their own guidelines, which they probably put out themselves, and then go, hey, I'll read it later because this is an update on products, perhaps. But anyway, speaking of products, the original product you said was done by Ray, who was a Swiss? What kind of kebab one was it? Sorry,
it was the original spicy.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there you go. The original spicy kebab, absolute classic. I suppose some people probably call it like a grill stick. It's that sort of style and format. It was still manufacture it today. Packaging has upgraded. It used to be. Do you remember? I mean, you still have them in the shops. The highlight of my summers was bagging these products because you weigh out a certain amment. We were hand packing at that moment in time when I was a kid. Because obviously I got to, when I hit the heady age of 14, I was also sent into the factory.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Free labour, baby.
Free labour. And the classic, because it was started by a butcher, so obviously we used the butcher bag, and I don't think I've ever known the name of them, but when you think of when you're packaging bread, the wrap that goes through.
Yeah, over the cling film.
Yeah,
the overwrappers, the overwrapping machines with the heat plate.
No, nothing as fancy as that, dear. The wrap, the tape that goes through. I'm going to have to find an old picture of it because it was just very vintage. Anyone who has used our original spicy kebab for a very long time will know what I'm talking about. And you used to sort of have to spin the bag, drop it down through a and wrap the tape around. You know the thing I mean?
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking because you said plastic wrap. I was like, what?
Yeah, no, in fairness, that was a standard case of Ellie's brain just didn't find the words at any moment in time. It happens quite a lot.
Oh, welcome to the world of ADHD, baby.
Sorry, that'd be ADO shiny, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It disappears off.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so we were those, and they were the bane of my 14-year-old life because you have to get exactly the right pace running through those to get them to work without tearing the bag. But anyway, yeah, so they were always the ones where we used to spend. That's how I spent my summers, was packing that, and the other two products that were sort of like our originals from that day is the Old English, which I think pretty much everyone knows the Old English.
Award-winning.
Multi-award-winning.
Yeah, sorry.
And things like the Lamburger, which was also one that was always a classic one. And so they were my summers. So they were what we call our 3 core products, which obviously expanded quite significantly since then. They all have gluten-free equivalents now as well.
Brilliant.
The Old English is gluten-free. We have a gluten-free version of it. The kebab has a slightly different flavour profile in its gluten-free format. It's a kofta. But that's, it's still a gluten-free equivalent of it. And obviously we've got a gluten-free Lamburger as well. So yeah, they've sort of we know the flavour profile works. Let's make
of
it
course.
for everyone.
Where was the idea? Was it just a trend, or was the idea of going down the gluten-free route just to?
I think it's something that we've been asked for quite a lot. So so back in about 1999, we'd been approached by the Celiac Society. And so off the back of that, we developed a couple of products, developed the gluten-free seasoning, which we still have on site. So it's our go-to. If you need something that's completely allergen-free and you just need a base seasoning, it's our go-to one. It's a product that's well loved by a lot of people. It's the basis for a lot of development work. So like Charlie at Flock and Herd loves it. It's a really useful product. We started off basically like that. So we had that product running for 20 odd years, 15 years. And then it was probably about 2012, 2013. There was a real sort of market increase and really noticeable for the number of requests that we were getting. So we were developing a lot of products, but it was always the fall down. So making the seasoning portion gluten-free is not a problem. There's a couple of spices we have to avoid, or we have to look at sourcing alternatives to them. But that is the easy bit of it. The flavour is fine. It's the functional section that's the harder bit. So getting a rusk that's good. So I think John started researching for a good rusk equivalent. So we was, that was a brand match to what we had and what we were using on our stock lines. And we always said that we were never going to launch anything gluten-free that wasn't as good as or better than what we produce in our standard.
Yeah, right. Standards are high.
Yeah, it meant it took us 5 years.
It's not long at all.
Exactly. It took 5 years to find a rusk that fulfilled what we needed it to do. So it wasn't, we are quite well known for a slightly more open texture, like a classic British banger, not particularly closed or sort of over processed. And it had to be able to function well enough to hold that texture, which is not easy when you have a gluten.
That's true. Yes, that is very true. It's 5 years is such a long time, and that's a lot of reading and research and reaching out to people as well,
It was a lot
especially.
of samples, it was a lot of testing, it was a lot of making of sausages.
Oh wow! What was the conclusion that you came to for?
By that point, I was sick of gluten free. No, it was basically the formula that we have got now is brilliant. So the rusk that we use is basically treated exactly the same as a standard rusk that we would use that's gluten containing. Exactly the same thing. It's slurried, made up, baked, crumbled, baked again. So it seems to be able to handle the flavour process through the sort of the rehydration and just maintain its structure really well. So that was the functionality section of it. One thing we also had to learn was the fact that by taking away gluten, you're taking away a dampening section of the flavour profile.
Oh, okay.
So you're like, oh yeah, the flavour portion is absolutely fine, no problem at all. You go to eat them, you're like, oh, actually, it's quite strong. So we had to adjust and affect and change things through. And yes, hence why it took quite a while to get something that we were really, really happy with. And I think from the fact that you can see that, our growth in terms of not only the flavours that we do. So, we don't just do like a premium pork and call it, tick box, gluten-free done.
Yeah.
Complete it.
Off the list. It's like Mount Everest, done it.
I think we have something like 15 gluten-free sausage flavours. I think we have about 7 or 10 burger flavours. We've got all of our glazes just transitioned across to gluten-free as standard because you're like, well, if you're doing it, you might as well do it. So it doesn't mean you have to use gluten-free. It was no particular difficulty for us to change it over, so let's make it available to everyone. And so they've been like that since, I think we changed them to gluten-free in about 2013, 2014, so pretty long time.
Yeah.
We've got gluten-free crumb coaters, we've got gluten-free stuffing mixes. Yeah, there's
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see that, like, because you guys have been around for 30 years, but in a short period of time, you've gone from these spice blends now to like gluten-free blends, but not just done any shortcuts per se. You've put in 5 years of just solid grinding just to go, right, now we've nailed it, and this is what's going to separate us from the competition, and then you can go tick.
Yeah, then we can tick the box. Like, we completed that one. Yeah, but I think it's the thing is being our own company. Like I always say, that it's not technically our name on the company, but it is our reputation. It's our company. It's we've grown up with it. It was born the year, sort of created as a business the year I was born. I have literally lived my life as Lennard.
Yeah.
So we're never going to put anything out there, whether that's our own brand label, something we manufacture for someone else that we are not happy with.
You put that in such a great way as well, because that's how most of us in butcher shops feel. Might not be our name on there, but this is our reputation. This is what we do, and we're like beyond proud of it. You put that really nicely then.
It's like it might be a tagline on some of our boxes. I'm not sure.
We can only work with it.
It is. It's something that it literally is your reputation, your shop, your business. It is who you are as a person. If you're running that shop, you're running that business, it is your life. As much as we try for work-life balance, it's not always viable.
No.
But that's fine, because it is part of our personality now. It is who we are.
Yeah, business first, party later, if the party ever happens.
Party, hopefully.
Because you do like a massive range of like your your crumbs and everything. And I love the katsu one, and I've
That's my favorite.
I've kind of made that into like the shop where I'm at now, like one of the staples.
Yeah.
And I've shown you the photos and like little bits and pieces, but it's taking that crumb and then mixing that crumb with the coconut milk cream, sorry, and then a little bit of like oil, and then you can use that as a paste on top as well, and it gives it.
I'd be using with like a coconut cream as well. That's a really good
Yeah,
idea. This is what I love. This is why I love going into butcher shops and talking to people who are using our products, because we make stuff, we develop them, we make them. We're never using them in a live circumstance. And you can use the katsu, and I use it at home. I make it a lot, and it's great by itself. It's it's got a flavour bang, hasn't it?
It's good.
But I love the fact when people come in and like, yeah, but if you do this to it, it makes it even better.
Yeah, it elevates it to a whole other level.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
you're not wasting any product. You're not wasting a single product until it gets really thick towards the end, and then you're like,
they just chisel it out.
Yeah, gotta just add a little bit more water or oil to it, and you're just like, yeah, we're good to go.
Keep on going, it's fine.
Yeah.
But no, that's what I love, and I always sort of say, and it sounds a bit pretentious, but I always you can use our products straight up. You can use them just because sometimes you just need to get stuff out on the shelves, out on the counters. But I always like them with like being the idea of being the start of your canvas for your creativity. So like they are just a starting point. We've kind of done the hard work. You know that this will be a good basis, and if you have a customer that suddenly wants to have, I don't know, a venison and blackberry, well, great, that's fine. Try the Hunter's Feast. That's probably a good starting point. Or even actually the game, because it's got a little bit of a fruity element in there anyway, because it's got a little bit of a cranberry, so it works really nicely with game birds in particular, but works with venison as well. And then just put some blackberries in there.
Yeah, nice brain.
That's fine. Crack on with that one. That sounds like a great idea. I've always wanted someone to do a ploughman's for me, because I thought that would be quite good. We've got a West Country cider apple.
Could do that.
Bit of pickle, bit of cheese, ploughman's.
Well, it depends what pickle as well, because you've got the little pickled onions, you've got Branson pickle, and then you've also got cornichons as well. This is where you're kind of getting into like dangerous territory in a sense, because how fussy do we want to be?
That's true. I mean, how much are we going to be? But that's what I love, and the fact that you can allow yourself to have within something that I think the outside public don't always see as a creative business, but it is so creative. And some of the value add products that I see people coming up with, you're like, where did that spawn from? What? But it's a brilliant idea, and I love it.
It comes down to our parents saying stop playing with your food, and then we get into the food industry and we're just like, this is all I'm doing is just playing with food.
To play with my food.
Yeah, I'm getting paid for this. But it is like there is like a lot of brainstorming times, and like even products that I see online from time to time, I'm just like, what the fuck? What happened there?
Like what? How did we come from this? Well, like Wesley went through his patisserie phase, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah. Oh man, he's awesome. Oh, Westy, I love him. I've been I want to try and get him on here, but he's such a busy young man.
Oh, tell me about it. He is so busy, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's Crowborough way, I think, and then he travels here to Dorset.
Yeah, he's all over the shop. Yeah, so I think he's Beckville now. Yeah, he's gone seaside.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he is all over the shop. Yeah, because obviously with his sort of
endeavours.
Yeah. So many endeavours. He's so busy. It's ridiculous. But he still has, mind you, maybe if that's what we need to do is have a longer commute time in our lives, but then you can think of these wacky thoughts and ideas like, making donuts from meat.
Well, he's got plenty of podcasting to get through. That's for sure.
That's true.
No, I 100% agree with the things that you said about Westy in doing those products and everything, because it shows it coming from a butchery background to now an actual person who's selling these products and having best of both worlds. And it's to show and promote like both ends of the scale, and he's also doing it from home.
Yeah, and I mean it's streaming, isn't it? But I
want to see his HACCP.
Yeah, we'll do that. But I think it's really, yeah, I think it's really interesting. Like, I appreciate not all the things that come up on there are necessarily viable for a shop environment on the day to day. But can we sometimes take them as a starting point, as a place where we can bounce off creativity and go? I mean, I think I saw one a while ago. I can't remember. I wish I could remember who did it, but they did upgraded chicken dinosaurs, like turkey dinosaurs, and it was with a. It was something that was not overly practical to do on the daily, but it looked so cool, and it was such a good talking point to have out on a counter.
Oh,
And I've seen a couple of ones like the lollipops.
yeah.
Like, and I've always wanted, and I've kind of, if I, no, I would like, if I had any skills in terms of those sort of things, I've seen a couple of ones where like, the rocket ice lollies, and we've
No,
got
is that a British thing?
probably, in fairness, yeah, so they're basically look like a little rocket, and they're like red, yellow, and then lighter yellow or orange and yellow.
Oh, okay,
Um,
okay.
And I always thought that'd be quite cool because we've got 3 crumb coaters that would fit that colour profile really nicely. I thought that would just be really entertaining just to have, just as a new version of a rocket lolly.
That's not a bad shout actually, because you could do blueberry, raspberry, and mango.
Just go wild through.
Yeah, just go all colours, all flavours. I don't know what I'm eating, but I love it.
I know, I'm pretty confused. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, in fairness, we do have a track record with those sort of things. I think 2012 for the Olympics, we did a Caribbean sausage mix.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep. Banana flavoured.
Yeah.
Banana and chili. It was joyous. It was so confusing. We launched it at a trade show. And it was one of those ones that went round like wildfire. And I walked up to have a look at some other stands and things like that, and I could hear people going, "Have you tried that banana sausage? It's really confusing."
I'm here for it though. But that's good.
Like, what am I eating a pork sausage or am I drinking a Nesquik milkshake? I'm not sure.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that. But that would have had people go, we have to step up our creative game.
It is, and it's just, it's having fun with it as well, isn't it? Because if you've made the effort, people coming like, yes, 100%, you need your whole cuts, you need the premium cuts, the stuff that is what people associate. But why can you not have fun with it as well?
Exactly. Yeah, it's taking the business serious, but still having fun and running with it. It's that important balance that keeps you sane.
Yeah, yeah.
Or might make you look insane. Banana and chili.
Maybe, I mean, most of my socials tend to make me look insane, but not one for corporate. But it is, and I think you're selling to human beings at the time, really, aren't you? And what people say, people buy from people. So if you're doing something fun and creative, you're already, as soon as people walk in, they're going, "Oh, that's interesting." And it catches their eye. They might not buy it, but they'll go, "Well, that was an interesting thing." They might tell someone else about it, and you immediately start getting a conversation and a dialogue. And as with all things, that's what's important, is fulfilling that.
Yeah, it's keeping the entertainment going on that. I love that concept. Have you thought about doing another one coming up?
Well, another sort of slightly odd one.
Yeah.
Well, we were considering relaunching that banana one, which in fact probably would have been quite a good year to do it because it was such a nice hot year. But if people people message me, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. I just thought of it though. Would you be interested in like selling like overseas or anything as well? Or is that something like?
Yeah, so we do. We're very lucky. So we tend to, so we don't sell direct to butchers necessarily. We sell through third parties. So we find that a lot of our products go everywhere from, we've got customers out in Malta, Canada, we've got them out in Bulgaria's having a lot of product at the moment.
Oh wow.
Switzerland, Spain, anywhere that you've got a fairly solid expat community. Had a lot of people requesting from Australia, struggling to get it out there, but I have offered to hand deliver. That is where I would be willing to hand deliver a product.
If you're taking that flight, can I come with you?
Is the podcast paying for it?
They can if they will. I'm broke. I'm going to have to sell my baby.
Don't say too loud. Yeah, So yeah, we go all over the shop.
Mm.
Yeah, so we do go all over. I mean, I have to admit, Brexit caused us a few little headaches. The irony being, it was actually easier to get stuff out to European continent than it was to get to Northern Ireland at one point.
Really? Like, yeah, I didn't even think about Brexit at that, like,
Mm.
until you said that. No, the only reason I asked, if, like, from selling it abroad or whatever, is like, because I remember ages ago, someone mentioned that, like, can we get this product over here? And I was like, oh, maybe if you ask them,
Yeah,
But then also, a lot of people were calling your office at one stage saying, can I order? And they're like, no, it has to be third party.
I'm
And
so sorry.
they came back to us and they were like, yeah, we have to go through like whoever it was. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Sorry.
I'm
Maybe
so sorry.
should check the T's and C's on that one.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, unfortunately, we do. I mean, unless you want 20 pallets at a time, that's how we set up.
Yeah.
It's through. But they're all lovely, and if you ever have any issues, come to us. We sort you out. We
Mm.
we can guarantee you we find you the best way of getting a hold of our products because it is our vested interest to sell stuff.
Yeah, of course. Mm.
And
No,
also, we're not
it's
nice to
good.
talk to.
um,
Hang on. You did a pause there, so I'm like, I am nice to talk to.
oh, yes, you are. Very nice. I wouldn't have your brother or dad on it just in case, because I might say the wrong thing. Yeah, it'd be a very short podcast if I had those two on there. So who the fuck is this? Why am I here?
Yeah, John does not do. John does not. John is very
No.
happy with his development work.
Yes, as he should be. Starting at
Exactly.
like back then to now, like he should be reaping the awards and maybe taking a step back. I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth.
No,
Okay.
no, he's
Just
not
putting
allowed
it
to do that. Come on,
no,
partnership here.
it's illegal. The
Yeah.
but the banana and chili. Are you thinking about bringing it back? Are you?
Yeah, we sort of one. So we tend to do like limited editions every year. So we obviously did the hot honey this year, so that was a completely new flavored product. But quite often we've done something where, so obviously we've got 30 years of back history recipes where, my dad was quite forward thinking. John has always been kind of very forward on flavor profiles, maybe a little bit ahead of the schedule in terms of what becomes like a mainstream and easily sellable flavor. So quite often we've gone through our books and been like, okay, cool, that's one I think might now work in the current market. So things like I think we had a limited edition on things like Lebanese 7 Spice and things like that, which is a little bit unusual, but it originally came back. It was a sort of an older product, and we were like, I think we might now be able to be in a position that is a easily sellable product. And it was so good, it ended up into our main lines, into stock lines. So yeah, so I mean, like the hot honey, I've had a lot of messages from people being like, "It's not just limited edition, though, is it?" No, it's not. It's a limited edition. It's definitely going into our main lines.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, I think it's probably been one of our best limited edition sellers.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really really tasty product. It hits a really lovely balance that is really entertaining to watch people try. Because we launched it at Plumpton actually, the Plumpton show that was where they also launched the Butchery team at
Team BB, yeah.
yeah. And so we were launching it there, and it was really really entertaining to watch people eat it because it starts off really really sweet, so you get a really front hit of honey, and you go like, I'm really like, he's always it's spicy. It's got chili in it, and you sort of start off with, do you mind chili? Do you mind hot products? And they eat by it, and you can see them going, no bloody chili in here. What are you talking about, idiot? About 5 seconds in, like normally either the colour drains or it flushes pink. Because it really hits with a chili kick. And it just sort of stays at that level, so it doesn't get any hotter the more you have of it. So it's quite a nice product. It doesn't, it's not going to kill you at the end of it, but it's just really really funny to watch.
What chilies is it that you use?
So this one is, we're actually only just using a standard red on there. So very, very simple, generic. So we use Carolina Reaper. So I wouldn't have put that in. So our Inferno and our Reaper burger. So we've got gluten free. Like going back to the gluten free, we're making it fair for everyone. So you've got a Carolina Reaper burger, which is our gluten free line. So it's got Carolina Reapers in there. It is spicy. And then we've also got the Inferno, which is Carolina Reapers plus some other bits of chili in there. So it's even hotter.
I'm sweating just hearing the word Carolina Reaper. Holy.
Yeah, so when we make that one, it's full face mask. It is gauntlets. It's the full house.
Yeah. You gotta have the nose on it as well, like the whole.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Full face mask on there.
I've spent a lot of time around the Reaper family and the Naga family because here in Dorset, you got a Dorset Naga.
Yeah, because Naga chili is one of my favourite chilies.
Yeah.
They're just very expensive to have on site. But they've got a lovely flavour to them as well. And that's what I like about them.
It's got a very floral, almost texture, like it's taste, but then it just goes bang and it just kicks you around, and you're just like, oh, this is a great idea, but bad at the same time. Like far out.
Yeah. But so the Inferno, eating the Inferno burger is a very similar sensation because you have it's a really good tasting burger in its own right to start off with. And then again, about 5 seconds in, you get punched in the face with the first chili, and then you get really slapped around the face with the Carolina chilies at the end. And then for the next 5 minutes, all you can feel is fire.
That's good.
Just in your tonsils. It's brilliant.
That's really good product, especially with the branding Inferno, because it's just like...
Oh, you know where you are, don't you?
Yeah, brimstone is in my tonsils.
Yeah, basically. This is what's happening now. But it's one of the few products, sometimes when you go to like a Tesco's or something like that, and then it's like a hot honey, and it's a little spicy, but there's nothing very much in there. Or they call it hot and spicy, they give it 5 chilies, and you're like, you may have put some pepper in there, but that's all I can see. I have never once had a complaint from anyone who has tried that product and gone, yeah, it could be a bit more spicy.
Wow, that's really good. Wow, that's really good to hear. Yeah. And you're like, no hugs today.
That's enough now.
Take away with yourself.
On your own time.
Yeah, exactly. So the Plumpton expedition?
Expo?
Expo, yeah. How was that? Like seeing that Team GB was...
Oh, it was brilliant.
Being announced,
See the skills, like some of the apprentices' skills as well was amazing to see. Like some of the stuff that they were bringing out was amazing. Lovely to see everyone anyway, because it's always nice. Because I feel like pre-COVID, I was out on the road pretty much every week. I was out seeing lots and lots of customers, and then sort of COVID hit, and it didn't really happen. And then I got super busy on office-based stuff. So I've not really been out and seeing as many people as I want to. We'll be changing. We'll be back out on the road because it's all went, I miss people. I miss seeing pictures. I miss learning things. And just chatting to people as well. It was just lovely. It was great to see. I really like the Plumpton one as well. We've done them for quite a long time. And obviously they relaunched them a couple of years ago, but they did a couple before that. And obviously we're very, very local. And we always want to support local sort of apprenticeships. And anyone that's supporting the industry as well. And it was just, they're so lovely, they're so friendly. It's a really nice atmosphere there as well. Where everyone's kind of supporting everyone else, and
everyone's cheerleader.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just great.
Yeah, and you can admire the facilities that they've got at Plumpton as well. It's particularly one of my favourite routes into a classroom as well is through the cow barns. Always great.
Yeah,
always great. Great stuff on milk and powder, cool. So that's always it's a nice place to go to. commute's great as well for me as well. You feel sorry for like people who are coming down from who we're next to, sort of like Dalesman Group and people like that, and you're like, oh, you've got a long drive back. Bad luck. It's like, I've got 5 minutes. Toodles. I'm going to the pub.
This one's fuck up.
Yeah, basically. I'm off to the pub. Uh,
I was gonna. It was on my list of things to ask you. Was how did you go during the whole COVID time? Like, what happened with you guys?
COVID was interesting. So obviously we have our butchery side of things, which is obviously like our core tenant sort of section. It's where we started from. It's our passion section. And then we've also got like our manufacturing side of things, so where we're producing ton pallets. And we're sort of producing for the customers we supply into. They may be getting like 2 or 3 ton pallets a week dropped into them every week.
Yeah.
Lockdown happened, and those pallets just died. Obviously, they cancelled because they're going into fish and chip shops. They're going into the stuff that no one was really sure what was going to happen. There's that level of sort of like, we don't know what's happening. So we're like, okay, interesting. Basically concentrated on pushing all of our sort of stock lines up, making sure we had plenty of stock of them. Like, it's fine. Hopefully, it won't be for too long. We can work from home. We can make this work. And then it went to absolute chaos, and butchers were very, very busy because supply chains is all about supply chains and having a level of flexibility. And we were really, really lucky that we are a small company. We're not, we're a big enough company, but we are small enough to be flexible. And because you've got 2 people who are running it, who understand from the grassroots, we have worked in the machines. During when we furloughed some of our staff, we were back on the factory floor, and we were running those lines by ourselves pretty much for 6 weeks. It was fun. Not a time I really want to go back to, but it can be done. And it was just, we were able to flex where I think a lot of other companies weren't able to. And so as much as I feel like I'm a bit of an arse saying that COVID was great for us, it obviously wasn't on a personal line, but in terms of the business, we were able to put ourselves in a position that it worked really well for us, and the fact that we could flex, we could adjust, we could make sure customers were getting what they needed, because at that moment in time, butchers needed stock on instantly, because you guys were busy, because you were the only ones stepping up where supermarkets couldn't, because they had too much red tape, logistics, all the other stuff that trips you up. So we were there just to support wherever we could. So we made it an interesting time. But we've been very lucky that since that time we have grown about 20% year on year for the last 5 years.
Brilliant.
And it is thanks to the butchers supporting us. It is thanks to our team members stepping up and it going above and beyond a lot of the time. We've been very lucky and very fortunate the last 5 years. Yeah, so it's lovely to see growth, and I think hopefully. So my father passed away in 2019, sort of early 2020, and I think it's very nice for me and John to see. Hopefully, it's something that he would be proud of now, and I think it's finally getting to the state that he wanted it to be when he bought it. So it's quite nice.
That's good. It's such a positive thing towards the end. That was, that was good. Yeah. COVID itself is just fucking mental for all of us. Also, the last thing I was going to do was make sausages on the shop where we just stole kids from the streets and just put them in, and they were making sausages.
That's when it became acceptable to do that again.
2020, yeah.
Yeah, I think basically fair games, right? You just call them part of what it was. Your bubble of 6 was allowed, so just call them that and you'll be fine. But
you're not wrong.
Yeah. It was, and it was like we were producing. We had to step up because people couldn't get what maybe they'd had previously, and we've been really lucky that because we stepped up, we were able to support. Maybe people try other products. Maybe they hadn't thought to try our stuff before, and for whatever reason we hadn't marketed to them correctly, and then they try it and they're like, oh, actually no, yeah, and they've stuck with us, and we've kept a level of loyalty, which is lovely. It makes me very proud.
No, you should be. You built up from 30 years from single bagging these products, going
Yeah,
through one of the most strangest times we will ever experience,
yeah,
to now growing by 20% a year on year. It's
yeah,
fucking an accomplishment in itself, and it's an amazing journey.
yeah. It's been a wild ride.
Yeah. Yes. Wow. Yeah. COVID still lingering around with us. Like a lot of butcher shops are still asking as well as like, who's prepared for this time? Like if it comes around or any other like illnesses and everything. But like,
Yeah.
I get the paranoia behind it all, but it's at the same time, let's just fucking crack on. And if it comes around, who cares?
We deal with it when we deal with it. And I think that's
Mm.
the thing, is that you have to have a level of preparation wherever you can do. It's the same with every walk of life, isn't it? And every walk of owning or running a business. You can,
Yeah.
was it sort of fail to, prepare to fail, but you
Mm.
can't envision a global pandemic on that scale. I mean, maybe
No.
we can now, but there'll be something we can no longer envision. So,
I don't
but
think anyone's going to stop if another pandemic happens. I don't think anyone's going to stop. I think it's like, man, we've done this before.
I think, yeah,
We'll,
like same old. We know where this runs.
no.
Yeah, I mean, I very much hope it doesn't happen again, or certainly not to the scale and devastation that it was.
Mm.
But yeah, the thing is, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to roll with the punches and be as flexible as you can. And you can see that's where the butcher shops who did flex like that are the ones that have done well and who have maintained that trajectory as well quite often.
Mm. Yeah. Okay, yeah. And the shop where I am at now is like, do you stockpile like a heap of chicken again, or what do we do? And it's just like, I think you're overthinking it, mate. Like, let's just because if you're bringing in like a couple of cases a week or whatever, and you're stockpiling these cases, but when like you can probably only keep them for 18 months max until we
Yeah,
have to get them out and sell them to someone.
yeah.
It's like, what do we like? There's a lot of there's doom prepping, and then there's like there's I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
there's preparation and then there's excessive.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not worried. No
No,
one should
I
be
think,
worried. Just
yeah,
plastics. Let's just get rid of plastics. If we
yeah,
can do
basically, yeah.
that's
Just
all it.
everything else is better and everything else will be fine, and then that'll fix everything, right?
Sure. Sunlight, just plenty of sunlight. That's all we need. Sunlight and less plastics.
Yeah. So I'm definitely here
And-
for more sunlight and less autumn. That'd be lovely.
yes, and more banana and chili sausages, which I want to
I
try.
feel like I've got your imagination on the banana and chili.
Well, I've done like mango in like ones before, and I've done like pomegranate and like coffee
Yeah,
ones. But then I was like, never thought of banana. I
yeah.
don't
I
know
mean,
why.
many people haven't, and I don't know whether that's a sign.
I've also done
Um,
grapes. I've done smoked grapes and
oh,
maple before.
that grapes.
Yeah, I've done smoked grapes and maple, and then I did sautéed strawberries and lime and mint.
Wow.
Yeah, I've done those ones
That's
before, but
right.
never thought. Yeah,
Okay, I like that. I'm interested by that one. Not going to be
I'll
seeing that.
send I'll send it on the Instagram because like I did it. I think I did it 2022, 21 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah, all we did
Could
was
you
cooking.
cross-market that with like anything like Wimbledon on the strawberry front?
Fuck, I didn't even think of that.
Because we've considered like for our limited edition to do like a strawberry and champagne. Um, but yeah, I think it's to the price point that no one would buy it. But me being slightly bougie wants to make it. So,
Well, I think we might be onto something there.
that's the thing.
Mm. Hey, back to the drawing board. Let's go.
Like, right. You know what we're saying? Right, limited edition for next year. You did it first.
That's not a bad shot actually. Bringing back the limited edition ones. But yeah, banana and chili's got me now. I'm gonna have to think about something on that.
We'll see what the team can do and see if we can get you a sample up.
Ooh, stop it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Right, so now you're back up and running. It's
Yeah.
you and your brother. I always not forget, but then what is your position in the whole of Lennard's now? Like your overall?
Overall, so one of the partners. So we are a partnership.
Mhm.
So yeah, but I head up the technical. I would slightly embarrassingly say the marketing, though that has been slightly lax of late, and I apologise for everyone for that. and sort of sales. But we are a small business, so you jump on where we need to be, and what needs to be there. I mean, my first love is always going to be customers and seeing customers. That's what I love doing, because you may have noticed I'm a bit of a chatty Cathy, and I just find the industry really fascinating, and I love particularly meeting the people who have got the level of enthusiasm for their craft. It's utterly inspiring. So, that's always going to be my favourite bit. So hopefully you'll see me out on the road a little bit more. And so if anyone wants free samples from us as well and things like that, because that's obviously what we do. So although we don't sell direct, we do a lot of the legwork on behalf of our wholesalers. So we will send you product guides, free samples. You can always try it before you buy it. This is potentially why we don't tend to do a huge amount of hard sell, by cutting prices or saying, "Oh, buy this one, get this one free" or something like that. It's like I just send you a sample. You can try it, and if you like it,
buy the whole tub or whatever. But the thing is, but the thing is, like, those flavors just hold up to themselves. They're just incredible flavors, Because I'm going back to those products again after a few years of doing a freestyle, which was like, it is what it is. But coming back to like a real product that has like an honest person behind the brand and not pushy.
Not pushy on sales anyway.
No, what? You're always asking me.
But it's just sort of we are confident enough in our products that we know we're putting premium ingredients in there. We know that these items are tried and tested. We know that people like Tom Kerridge love our stuff, that Harrods like our stuff. We've got loads of the premium restaurants up in London are using our sausages. And if you want it on that, fantastic. Try a sample of it, see if you like it, see if your customers like it. More importantly, because they're the ones that count, because they're the ones spending the money with you. So everyone's always welcome to try anything. And equally, if they want anything special or bespoke. So I think we've obviously mentioned Charlie at Flock and Herd. So he had historically always used in a different shop, our gluten-free seasoning, loved it. He's obviously been on the podcast. I think he's told the story, hasn't he? Yeah. And he's like, I want this, but I want this in it as well. So we did for him. So it's that's his product now. It'll always be his product. It comes out of saying Flock and Herd, gluten-free seasoning. That is his brand. It's his product. And he's now sort of progressed that a little bit further as well. Some other lines. Yeah. Because he was fed up with doing the seasoning making up, as you had PTSD for.
Oh God. It sent me down memory lane. I was like,
and if you should know, I was here. I could have done it for you.
That's true. Actually, I could have just fucking gone. You did it all. This is the list of things I do.
And that's literally is what we do. So we can literally do everything from blue sky thinking, like you go, I want a strawberry and basil sausage, and we'll go, you're weird but okay, and we'll make it for you.
It says you with banana and chili.
So we can do it. That's fine. No worries. We'll sort it out for you. What do you want it? Do you want it gluten-free? Do you want it anything else in particular? Do you want it just the seasoning? Do you want it with a ruskin? What meat content do you want? All of those sort of things. And you go, tell me what we want. Or you can go, Grandad gave me this recipe. And I've sold it in the shop and I've been making it myself for ages. Could you make it into a bigger pack size? Yeah, absolutely fine. We can make it up sort of down 30 kilos is the minimum we can produce for you. So as long as you're happy with that. So you can have that in 10 kilo sacks. You can have it in 5 kilo sacks. You can have it in 122 gram bags. We will pack to what you want as well.
That's brilliant. That's such a unique business model, and it's really good. Like you said, Granddad's given me this recipe, and we know we sell like 30 kilos of sausages, which 30 tubs will make maybe a couple 100 kilos, but
so if you're going to sell it, it's absolutely fine, isn't it? And if you sell it, it sells you around. It'll have an 18-month shelf on it or a 12-month shelf on it, so you've got plenty of time to use it. But it's saving you a week making it up.
No, it's brilliant. That's such a good concept and very unique. No one's doing that. Unless
No,
you're doing it yourself.
yeah. I mean, what idiot would do that? It's fine. It's boring. But it is, yeah, and I think we are unusual in the market that we can do to 30 kilos. Again, it's about keeping our flexibility, and it's always something whenever we've adjusted, improved, increased volumes within our factory. So, half-ton mixers and all that sort of stuff coming in on site and ton mixers. We've always made sure we've had facility to keep that 30 kilo blending. So we have multiple mixers on site.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, because it's important because it helps you save time, it saves you money, therefore your profitability is going to improve, therefore it's only going to improve the business model, and therefore theoretically I'm going to start selling you more stuff. So it makes more sense to me as well.
Full circle.
Full circle. I'm doing well out of it, so it's
fine. Right. Oh man, this has been just fantastic, Ellie. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it's been a delight as always. Apologies for the number of tangents.
Never an issue. This is what we're here for. Right, should we head over to some guest questions?
Oh yes, hang on. Yeah.
Here we go. You got your paper and all that ready?
Go on.
Right, question. Question 1. What's a belief or habit that's been key to your success?
Well, I think I mentioned one of them fairly on, which was "Don't be a dick," which is basically an unofficial life motto. But I think probably the one that I pull into business most often, and we try and sort of have across as our culture within the site, is just 1% better. 1% better every day.
Yeah, brilliant.
So it doesn't have to be across everything that you do, just 1% better somewhere every day.
Yeah. That's good.
It's kind of, we're just, which means why we're tinkering, we're improving, we're always looking at new stuff, new packaging. New packaging. New products, new flavours. Just 1% better. It's always happening.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. It doesn't have to be in all areas, like you said, but as long as it's
sometimes it can't be in any area, but we aim for it.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's a good life motto that is as well. You might lack in certain areas that make up for others. It's the way life is.
Exactly, but it's fine.
Yeah.
So as long as you've tried, dear.
I tried it. Yes. Right. This is a really good one. 3 guests to invite to dinner, dead or alive, and why?
Okay, so I was really struggling. I'm not gonna lie. This is a slight struggle because I'm like, but there's a lot of people I want to have a conversation with because I refer you back to Chatty Cathy. But I think because I'm a woman working in a fairly male-dominated industry, although there's so many more girls coming through, fantastic, and it's becoming a lot less, but certainly from when I started. So I'd like to see someone who is similar and have a conversation from a different time frame. So I was like, Ada Lovelace, I'd love to meet. So way ahead of time, all of that sort of stuff, really interesting. And then just for comedy, and because I think having a conversation with her would be amazing, would be Sandy Topswig. Because just feel like she could give a good yarn.
Good yarn.
Yeah, and then just because I'm a bit of a nerd, Terry Pratchett, my favourite author. So
I don't know who that is. I'm not a reader, unfortunately.
Very good on audiobook. If you like a bit of comic sci-fi, you'll be away. Although, in fairness, I was also thinking would be quite funny just to put 3 dictators in a room and sit back and see what happened.
That's not a good idea.
I don't know. Maybe if they're in a contained room?
Okay, that's better. Yeah, there we go. Have we got cutlery on the table, or what are we saying?
Oh, fair point. I hadn't thought about the weapon situation.
Yeah. Because you got
thought that one through, had I?
No. If you got Putin, he's pretty much a trained killer. A knife, easy work for him.
Yeah. Yeah, fair point. Yeah, I haven't thought that one through.
No, but your first 3.
In that case, yeah.
That's good. I'll send me the list. Send me the last person on your list, because I do like sci-fi and comic and all that as well.
Oh, in that case, I mean, yeah.
Well, I've got Marble books everywhere here. We got marble books.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
There's a whole stack of them over here. That's why when you said comic, I was like, yes,
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah, so yeah, I would 10 out of 10 recommend. You would probably like Terry Pratchett. It's a wonderful twist on the norm.
Oh, okay. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Right, you ready for number 3?
Yeah. Go on, hit me.
What's your favorite quote? Don't be a dick. Yeah. No, yeah.
It's kind of brand. Well, no, I think going back to the 1% better, really, isn't it? If you want something done, give it to someone busy. That tends to be my sort of standard working motto. That's normally me. I think my quote I like. I think my mum would probably say, for me, my normal motto is better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission, which I also quite like. But
Yeah.
my brother does not quite like that side of me as much.
Would the quote be like, if you can't handle it, give it to someone lazy because they find the easiest and most efficient way to do it?
Oh no, that's a good twist. I like it. That's true. But if they do it at all, though,
they will, because if you're the boss and they're the worker, this is what I'm tasking you. If it's your kids or whatever,
delegation is not my strong suit, I have to say.
That's what John's for, yeah.
We're learning delegation.
Yeah, get it. So what was the quote? Say the quote again.
If you want something done, give it to someone busy. It is the most efficient way of getting stuff done. Because you can't procrastinate. There's no space for procrastination. That's normally my. Although definitely the don't be a dick is potentially my real life one.
Yeah, do it. Yeah. Question 4. What question do you wish people would ask you?
It's a really tricky one. I think the one I'm surprised people don't ask me more is how do you work with your brother? But yeah, I mean, I think just sort of like, how can I help is quite often quite a nice one. Going back to the delegation, that'd be quite nice sometimes. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's a really difficult question. I'm never entirely sure.
No, it's good. It opens. It gives people a bit of a hang on. What do I want of it? Like, what do people should ask me? It makes you think a little bit more about yourself. Like, not that being a bit selfish isn't a thing, but it's like opens you up to another area of like,
Yeah. I have to say, I did ask a couple of people what they thought it would be because I'm not entirely sure on this one. And my personal favourite that came back was, do you want a pay rise?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Which is a very rare question. No, go fuck yourself. Oh, you want more on your busy list? Here you go.
There you go.
Don't be a dick.
Exactly. There you go. The perfect life motto.
Yeah, there we go. Right, last question, and is the most important one of them all.
Prepared.
Are aliens real?
100%.
Yes. Elaborate for me if you can.
I can't say that we could be so insular in our thinking that they can't exist. Probably not in the way that we look at them. And there's lots of trippy theories. I refer back to being a slight nerd. What about dimension? They could be 4D people in the room with us now, and we just wouldn't know because a 2D person doesn't know we exist. And this is the reason that my brain won't allow me to stargaze for too long because the sky is too big. Because my brain goes, there's that you can't look at the sky, see all of those stars and all the planets that are going to be orientating around that and think that there isn't some form or hasn't been some form of life.
No, 100%.
Even they find something recently on Mars that indicated potential for life.
They found water, and then they seen the structure, and then they found like what looks like to be like an alien kind of sitting on a ledge or something. I know that one. And then they found like almost like a pyramid entrance or something, wasn't it? Like something along those lines.
Oh, I didn't even see that bit, but I saw just definite evidence of the potential for life forms to be able to exist in our standard sort of format.
Well,
So
yeah. Well, if there's water on that planet, that means there is sustainability of some sort.
theoretically, yes, yeah,
Mm.
you just have to get the right proteins doing,
Yeah.
in the right formats. But yes,
Mm.
I don't think we can be so selfish as a species to think that they don't.
Mm. No,
But
it's
whether
true.
I want to meet an alien is a different matter.
It's true, actually. Yeah. But yeah, I reckon they're among us still. Like they,
Are you
I reckon.
still on Men in Black sort of vibes?
No, not at all. They're just our politicians, aren't they?
They're definitely on a different planet sometimes. Or the lawmakers.
Yeah, that too.
Or the
That too.
FSAs.
But yeah, of course. No, they just never left. I reckon they're just here and they're in disguise. And like it could be 40 people in this room or in your room as well, just on a different frequency.
This is what I mean. So about the dimension side of things, isn't it? There's,
Mm.
what's to say that they're not? And then my brain starts to implode, and I have to go and have a little sit down.
Yeah, and I need to go lay down for a second.
Yeah.
This conversation has been lots of fun, Ellie. Thank you so much for joining me and getting your story out.
Thank you. Yeah. Again, thank you for the privilege.
No, thank you for being a big supporter since, well, basically the whole beginning of this podcast journey.
You're more than welcome.
Before we leave, please plug and promote where you are and who you are, and obviously Lennard's.
I was going to say the big sign at the back. So we are on Instagram, on Facebook, Lennard's UK. You can find us on www.lennards.co.uk as well, which has all of our links to our social accounts and all our links to emails, contacts. Give us a call. If you want to see something on the website that you want to try, we send out free samples. You may have said that a few times.
Not at all. It's brilliant.
We send out free samples.
Actually, I wouldn't know because you haven't sent me any free samples.
There'll be a banana one on the way soon.
Yes, come on now. Yes. Oh, I can't wait.
It's worth an hour and a half of talking to me to get that, wasn't it?
It'll be right. It's good fun. Right, thank you so much, and I will speak to you very shortly.
Yeah, thanks. See you soon.
See you, everyone. Bye now.